Hi, welcome back. This is the last video in a series of videos I made about selling our family home. So you made it to the last one, yay! In this video, I'm going to show you what we netted, including an unexpected concession that we made to the buyer, and what we think we profited, if that's the right word, how much we made on the improvements we did to sell our house. Was it worth it in the end? Whether or not we have any second guesses, I think everyone does that sells a home. And do we have any regrets? In the last video, I showed you the offers we received and why we decided to pick the one offer that was $40,000 over our list price. No inspection or appraisal contingencies on it, but we did have a bump in the road. During the preparations for the resale, we found one window that would not tilt in properly. So we called out for repair and they did not have the part that was needed, so they put in a temporary part. We had the final part, or the proper part, on order. We put all that in the disclosures. We wrote into the disclosure that we would have that fixed and went on with the listing. And while the window was being repaired, we finally realized what was happening, what the root cause was. There was a little plastic barrel in the windows that was starting to crack. Once we knew what we were looking at, we went around and we looked at all 11 windows of that type, and we could see that a number of them were actually starting to get the crack. And our windows weren't that old, and we didn't realize that until we had gone out with the disclosures. We wish we had discovered this issue 9 months ago. We could have had all the windows repaired, but here we are, we're accepting appointments for showings. What do we do? Anyway, that's life in a nutshell. So we called the real estate agent, explained the issue to him, and he told us, just wait. He said, once you get offers in and you have, we can negotiate this with the buyer. So that's what we did. So when we received the offer, we wanted to accept it. We went back to the buyer and we explained the issue and apologized that we didn't know about it when we originally wrote the disclosures. So we decided, my husband and I, that we were just going to offer them $500 per window times the 11 windows this type that were affected. And it would be a $5,500 concession. And held our breath to see what the buyer would do. They came back and they said, yeah, they accepted the concession, which was terrific, and didn't ask for more inspection on the house, which was also very nice of them. We ended up basically selling the house for $744,500 instead of $750,000. So once we both had signed the offer, we entered escrow. And I think we were in escrow for about 25 days. That was the longest 25 days of my husband and I's life. I think that's true, because we were in a house that was still our house, but it wasn't our house. It was the weirdest feeling in the world. And we were just holding our breath, worried that something else was going to break, or that we were going to damage something or ding something, and oh my gosh, you just want to get to the end of the 25 days and be done with it. So what did we net? The sales price of our house was $750,000, and we paid 3.95% in real estate commissions and 1.1% in settlement costs and taxes, things like that. And our prepaids, we got back $860. Our concession was $5,500. And at the end, we subtotal netted $707,000 and change. But then remember, in previous video, I talked about all of the pre-sale expenses we had getting our home ready to sell, and that was $75,000. So in actuality, we really netted $632,000. If you recall in one of our previous videos that we wanted to net a minimum of $587,000, which at the time we felt was our break-even point, meaning that's how much we would net if we didn't do any of the improvements. $587,000 was based on the assumption that we could sell our house for $620,000 with no improvements. So by this math, then, we actually profited $45,000 on the home improvements that we did. That's a counterfactual. We'll never know if that was true or not. Given the market conditions, we might have actually been able to net more having done nothing to our house. I think my husband and I sort of compromise on it. The conclusion that we came to was that we've netted something like about $30,000 for our 9 months of hard work. And at least that's the story we're going to stick to. In the listing, we had offered the exercise equipment that was in the basement. We had a treadmill and we had an exercise bike that we had just bought and was really never used. And it was a really nice one too. So we just offered that with the property if the buyers wanted it. And our buyers were just terrific. They said they would take that and anything else that we wanted to leave. That was fantastic. So I went through the house and I took pictures of every room and what we were willing to leave and what we wanted to take with us, which actually wasn't much. We already had a house we were going to occupy after the sale. Didn't really need much furniture there. And then we did have a storage unit that we put a few things in with the intention of buying a condo later on. But we were happy not to have to move items, potentially ding walls and, cause damage, moving furniture out of their home. So we documented everything we were leaving, sent that to them, said, are you sure you want this? Because, this item is not in perfect condition and things like that. And they did. They wanted everything we were willing to leave. So they couldn't have been, just more sweet, great to work with, accommodating. We were just really lucky with our buyers. We'll forever be appreciative of the way that they handled things on their end. And also, before we get calls from financial advisors about the money that we netted on our house, it's already reinvested in real estate. We no longer have that money, so it's sitting in the 2 properties we bought. Do we have any regrets? Well, you can always wonder about the what ifs. Should we have spent less on renovations? Should we have spent less on commissions, real estate commissions? Or should we have offered as much of a concession for the windows as we did? We have made more money if we had rolled the dice on the appraisal or negotiated harder with offer 4 that potentially could have yielded more money for our house than the offer we did accept. I think you always think to yourself, was I a smart seller? Or did we give away too much? Give away quite a lot of property and possessions at the end, and we didn't ask for anything for those things. We gave away a fire pit, a treadmill, an exercise bike, a lot of furniture. We didn't ask for anything in return for those items. So were we a smart seller? Who knows? Probably not. But we don't let that drive us crazy, and here's why. We choose to focus on what our primary objectives were. We came out with just enough money to have the 2 properties that we wanted of lesser value, mortgage-free, enabling the life that we envisioned for ourselves in retirement, and we were able to achieve that. So how lucky were we? Sold much more quickly because we did the home renovations than if we didn't, and so that made our lives a whole lot easier at the end. And by choosing not to take the offer with the appraisal contingency, we saved ourselves a lot of stress there during that escrow period and shortened that escrow period. And the family that we sold the house to were super easy to work with and handled our additional disclosure, which was, I'm sure, not a fun surprise for them. They handled that so well, and we really appreciated that. And all those good things came out of the process, so we don't have any regrets. That's good enough for us. With a successful sale and transfer of our home to this new wonderful family, which is really what the home was built for. It was built for a family. It wasn't built for two empty nesters to age in place. And it really made us feel good to see a new family move in. It was a happy home. Really excited for the new family, and we really wish them the best and hope they enjoy it as much as we did. Now we're on to our new life with our two new properties. We would love to hear about what you're doing in retirement. Our channel is going to proceed from here with how we bought a condo and how we renovated that, and our house 30 minutes from the beach, and what it's like to bounce back and forth between two properties, which we still are trying to figure out. Talk about that lifestyle. Don't know what the future is going to hold for us long term, but we're really excited about all the possibilities, and we hope you follow with us. So if you like our channel and the content, give us a subscribe, and we love hearing from you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next video.